Alabama 1st and 10 on the 12. Again, Houston. He's got a hole. He's over. Alabama touchdown.
I'm just wondering if your listeners know how good a football player you were. I can still see you playing that fullback, knocking those players out of the way. And that, I believe I could have run behind you.
Martin, I can remember when we came to summer and you were playing fullback up there, and I saw you in the weight room and watched you work out in the weight room. If you were strong enough to pick up the whole weight room. I wanted to pick it, and our running back coach didn't take it. Biggest mistake we ever made.
The Martin Houston Show with national championship winning fullback Martin Houston, giving you 1 hour of intense, hard-hitting analysis from an insider's perspective. It's time for the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports, Tide 100.9, and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Good morning. Welcome into the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier. It's a wild card Would You Rather Wednesday, so we got a lot of topics to get to today. We can go anywhere you want to go. We're powered by Box Eye Care each and every day. Support the good folks over at Box Eye Care. You can find them online at boxeyecare.com. Also, the Empowerment Strategy and Solutions Hotline is open for business, 205-342-9904, 205-342-9904. Get in on the conversation. We welcome you in. Of course, those of you who join us in the live stream, you are always welcome to add your thoughts, your comments, and your reactions to the conversation, and we will work it in. Remember that this is the day that the Lord has made, so let's rejoice, be glad in it, take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. The playbook kind of varied all over the place today. We can talk about this FSU game. You know, I know it's way too early, but might as well start talking about the FSU game. Some thoughts in regards to the FSU game. Alabama starts the season off with a tough one. You know, ESPN picking Alabama through the FPI rankings. We're going to break that down, but they're picking Alabama to I love it, the 9.6 versus 2.8. In other words, I think they're saying Alabama's going to drop 2 games this year. Well, which 2 games will they drop? Will it be, Alabama, when you look at that schedule, starting off at Florida State? Is that one of the 2? Is at Georgia the number 2 game, and then they run the rest of the table? But since it's 9.6, are they saying, Tennessee may sneak in and get one, or South Carolina going up there could be a tough one. Missouri looking to get revenge. At Auburn. Voodoo Village. So what's going to be Alabama's breakdown? ESPN giving Alabama some love, though, in their FPI ranking. Alabama coming in 3rd. We'll get Wyatt's thoughts. Is that more just, Texas, Georgia, Alabama? Was it lazy? Or is that legit? When you look at the top 3 teams, is that legit? Or was it just lazy? Highest odds of making the college football playoff. You throw Ohio State in at number 3, Alabama drops to number 4. Everything that they did, Wyatt, was 1, 2, 3, 4. Some variation of Texas, Georgia, Ohio State, and Alabama. Now, if that's true, does the SEC have legitimate arguments that quality should matter, not just quantity of wins? So we'll break that portion of the conversation down here in just a moment. Ryan Williams, did you like his statement? We're not about revenge. We don't call it revenge tour, But just know that when Vanderbilt comes to Tuscaloosa, we're going to kill an ant with a sledgehammer. Wyatt, I may have to pull that one out, man. I may have to use that statement somewhere. Had you ever heard that statement before?
No, that's not one I can say I've heard before, but it's effective. It's graphic, but it gets the job done. So I kill an ant with the sledgehammer. I may have to start using that. And of course, Pavi has already responded. So
Do what now?
I said Diego Pavi has already responded to it.
What did he say?
He said they want to act tough, but they weren't so tough last go round.
Oh, he a fool. Does he realize he's at Vanderbilt? Hey, this is where I pull out one of my old ones when I talk about the Vanderbilt win against Alabama. Wyatt, tell me if you've ever heard this one. Of course, and this is in honor of our Georgia friend that joins us every day, Blind Squirrel Sport. But you ever heard the saying, every once in a while a blind squirrel will find a nut?
I have heard that one before.
Yeah, that's what Vanderbilt's win was last year. That's just, I mean, let's be real. One time in I'm 50 something years old, and I remember hearing about Vanderbilt beating Alabama when Coach Bryant was here. But I don't know if they've beaten us any other time. I don't know. I mean, like I said, every once in a while a blind squirrel will find a nut. Javier, I wouldn't talk. But we're gonna break down what that statement can mean. What does when you say kill? I love the metaphor from what it spoke to me, and I'll break that down here in just a moment. Blind squirrel finds a nut, as well. Our Georgia fan jumping in there. The other side of the thing is we can talk about breakout players. Breakout sophomores, other guys who may have been overshadowed by Ryan Williams' performance last year, but these guys, are poised to make impact for the Crimson Tide. So that's another statement. But Wyatt, here's a challenge for. I hadn't done a Would You Rather in a while. But I figured I'd just go all out on this Would You Rather. Today's Would You Rather question for the Alabama fans is, would you rather Ty Simpson lead the Alabama Crimson Tide to a national title, but he comes back next year and Keelan Russell goes into the portal? Or Ty Simpson has a great season, no title for the Tide, but he leaves and Russell stays in the fold. So noodle on that a little bit, Tide Nation. Once again, you could have one of the two. You can't have both. You're either going to have Keelan Russell next year or you're going to have a national title this year, pretty much. Ty Simpson doesn't necessarily have a breakout season, but he leads the Tide to a national title. But he comes back. And because he comes back, Russell jumps in the portal. Or he has a great season. Alabama comes up short on the title, and Russell is back for 3 years. So soak on that for a little bit. And of course, Blind Squirrel Sports saying he'll take the second option. Once again, he is a Georgia fan. So, anyway, those are a couple of the topics we can get to. We can have a complete this statement. In Alabama, in 2025, Alabama football will be remembered for what? Man, what's the identity? What's this team? All of that. So like I said, we're going to be all over the place this morning, but to get things started, Actually, let's go ahead and get the break a little early. We'll get Pat in on the other side. Pat wanted to talk about the quarterback that has scheduled a visit, baseball player and a football player as well. Speaking of baseball players, giving a shout out to Mr. Hines. Kudos to him. Alabama baseball signee Eric Hines has been named the state's Gatorade Player of the Year for 2024-2025. Why do you think? Do you think he ends up playing at the Tide, or do you think his stock has risen enough that he may end up in the draft?
I hope he makes his way to the Joe, but I honestly think his stock's so good he may never throw a pitch, or not a pitch. He may never throw a ball here at Alabama.
Yeah, like I said, his stock has been rising, and this doesn't hurt as far as his goal, dream of playing at the big leagues. But he would definitely be a huge get, especially for Coach Vaughn, who the University of Alabama and Coach Vaughn agreed to a contract extension. You can go to tide109.com, read the details of that extension. Mr. Hines, though, congratulations. Kudos to you. We hope to see you in the Crimson Tide jersey. If not, we're going to wish you the best if you get selected high enough in the MLB draft that it's worth your time to pursue it. As we go to break, want to remind you, would you rather question on the other side? We're going to dive into it. Would you rather have Alabama national title with Simpson coming back to be a second-year starter, but that means you may lose Russell, or will lose Russell? Or would you rather Simpson have a really good season, Alabama have a good season, but no title, and Russell poised to come back? And of course, there's Mac in the middle of that. If Russell comes back and he's a starter, how many quarterbacks will Alabama have on their roster with the scholarship attached to their name? We'll talk about all of that and more right here on your home for Alabama Sports, Tide 100.9, 1230 AM WTBC. Don't forget the Empowerment Strategy and Solutions Hotline is open for business, 205-342-9904.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Happy hump day to you. And we're getting off to a nice and quiet start along those Tuscaloosa freeways, and side streets are also looking good. We're moving smooth on McFarland in both the east and westbound lanes from Lurleen Wallace all the way to 5th Street, and even beyond that. That is traveling again, green for go. Looking good inside the construction zone, 2059 from 359 to Joe Malisham Parkway. You're A-OK. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, Tammy Thomas.
This report is sponsored by Positive Coaching Alliance.
Just announced 0% for up to 60 months on all 2025 Nissan Rogue SUVs and the 2025 Nissan Pathfinders. Wow. Don't wait. Just shop now. Townsend Nissan today.
Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org.
The all-new Chow's Country Buffet is open now on 1100 Skyland Boulevard, Tuscaloosa. Southern classics with an Asian twist. All-you-can-eat fried chicken, fried catfish, seafood boil, roast beef, brisket, orange chicken, and over 150 additional items. Chow's Country Buffet will be open for lunch and dinner at 1100 Skyland Boulevard, Tuscaloosa. Or check out the website, chowscountrybuffet.com. Call 205-810-8888. The all-new Chow's Country Buffet, Skyland Boulevard. Join us for a meal to remember.
Hey, I'm Martin Houston, and I want to tell you about exciting news happening at Box Eye Care. They moved to their new location, bringing you a brand new lab, stylish new frames, and a fresh look just for you. Enjoy their expanded frame inventory, competitive prices, and faster service, all with the same great level of service you've come to know and trust. Discover this full-service eye care at Box Eye Care's new location. With their in-house lab, they offer unbeatable value and one of the largest frame collections in town. Schedule your eye exam today and walk out with new glasses in less than an hour in most cases. Visit boxeyecare.com. That's boxeyecare.com or call 205-342-0660. That's 205-342-0660. Visit them at 5003 Oscar Baxter Drive. That's Box Eye Care. Your vision, our priority.
Do you have $10,000, $20,000, or $30,000 in debt? Then listen to this. You may not be required to pay it all back.
I was drowning in debt.
I had over $36,000 in debt. If I would have just made the minimum payments, it would have taken me 59 years to pay off.
Whether it's credit card, medical, or personal loan debt, National Debt Relief can help significantly reduce what you owe. In fact, debt relief payments can be 50% less than your monthly credit card payments. That's right, half as much as you're paying now.
National Debt Relief reduced my debt by over $27,000.
With National Debt Relief, you have a powerful team that knows how to talk to your creditors.
National Debt Relief, they got me out of debt.
More than 550,000 Americans have used National Debt Relief to reduce their debt. Call 800-885-5555 to see if you qualify to settle your debt for a fraction of what you owe. That's 800-885-5555. 800-885-5555. It's time for the Martin Houston Show. With the same hard-hitting, no-nonsense approach in which he played the game, Martin will take you inside the locker room, down on the field, and across the goal line with his in-depth analysis.
Welcome back in to the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier. Xavier out on assignment this morning. We got a Would You Rather edition going on. Before we do that, I need to tell you about the good folks over at North River Timber Company, LLC, timber harvesting, appraisals, and land management. If you're in the market for any of those services, or you have a question about land, your land in general, call North River Timber Company, LLC, 205-242-5127, 205-242-5127. That's Courtney White. He'll be glad to take care of you. And if you prefer to email your question, you can email that at northrivertimberco@gmail.com. They will tell you, and I agree with them, owning land is like having money in the bank. That's North River Timber Company, LLC. All right. Let me go ahead and get this question up there. Would you rather question today? It's a wild card Wednesday right here on the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier. The quarterback quandary edition. C. Ty Simpson, would you rather see Ty Simpson lead Alabama to a national championship this year and shock everyone by returning for 2026, but in doing so, you lose Keelan Russell to the transfer portal, or watch Ty have a great individual season, Heisman finalist hype type numbers, etc., but fall short of a national title, and he leaves for the NFL, yet Keelan Russell stays and becomes the future face, or battles to become the future face of the program. Both are high stakes. One gives you hardware now, but risk your future QB1. The other is about building a dynasty, but sacrificing a title in the present moment. So, yeah, there you go. Which one would you rather have? You can call us up at 205-342-9904, 205-342-9904. That's Empowerment Strategy and Solutions Hotline. All right, we got a couple callers. I'll let you mull on that a little bit, Wyatt, and then we'll get back to it. But Pat, you're in with Martin on the Empowerment Strategy and Solutions Hotline. What's on your mind?
Hey, you're not quite as old as me, but you know the old saying, a bird in the hand's worth more than two in the bush. And the title is hard to come by. If you're going to guarantee a title, I'm taking the 19th title right now. Because that's just, hey, it's hard to win that, especially with this new system. My goodness, you got to win a lot of games.
Yeah.
And they say, bird in the hand's worth more than two in the bush. Now, do you realize?
Go ahead. Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Well, I got to stop going at both the quarterback we had last weekend on campus, Tamala, and the quarterback we got coming in Friday, both of them are in the Elite 11. So we're going to have an idea in June just what kind of quarterbacks they are. I mean, if the Elite 11, coach, like you and I said, this T-shirt All-Americans, but it's an indicator. And we're going to know what they are. Now, this kid that's coming in Friday, he has a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. There's a big, big possibility. There's no way that kid's going to be able to turn down what Major League Baseball is going to offer him in the draft. Go ahead. I'm listening, Martin.
But Pat, the Matt Panatoski kid, QB, they've said that he wants to play both as long as he can. So even though he may be drafted, I still think he's going to play college football somewhere because of what he said. So,
but you realize he can go play baseball and come back and play football. Thus, it's the precedent, not president, but the precedent's been set at LSU for that.
Yeah, I mean, but that's always been a possibility. That's not new. So So why do you think there's any way that this kid tries? I don't think Alabama wants him if he's going to play MLB in college. I think that any school out there that's making a promise that he's going to get to play both is if he's playing college, the college version of both. What are your thoughts, Wise?
Yeah. Well, Arkansas's hunting bad, and so is Oregon Ducks, and both of them have offered baseball and football already. Now, he has talked to the Alabama baseball coach, from what I understand. Before he's getting to campus, he's already been talking to Alabama baseball, and Alabama baseball needs a 98-mile-an-hour fastball pretty bad too, which gives him a chance to sit and wait on Keelan Russell to do Keelan Russell's thing, and try to come and win us 2 national titles back to back. You didn't mention that, Martin Houston.
Yeah.
But hey, we shall see. But this is going to be a fun weekend. We've got some major. We got a number 3 overall safety coming in this weekend.
Yeah. I'm sure X on tomorrow go a little deeper.
Okay, hopefully X will be back tomorrow. We can talk about all that.
I'm anticipating he will be back tomorrow. So.
Good deal. Hope all's right with him.
Thanks, Pat. Appreciate that, man.
Yes, sir. You have a blessed day, Martin Houston.
You too. Why? Your thoughts there. I mean, is this really what is Matt Panatoski? I'm sorry. Is he the perfect gift wrap for Alabama to get a high caliber quarterback with the fact that they have Keelan Russell on this roster? A guy who has something else that can keep him engaged while Keelan is growing and he's willing to come and sit and grow a little bit versus a guy who this is his one ticket.
I think Matt Panatoski, I know he says he wants to play both, but if the MLB comes calling, you don't turn down an MLB style contract for college football. As much as I'd love for him to be in Tuscaloosa, you don't turn down MLB money just to go play some college football at that point.
Well, it's really based on if he's going to be a first rounder. And then again, we don't know his family's financial situation. I don't know his family's financial situation. The money may not be as big a deal. Maybe he thinks he can get better.
And maybe he does. Maybe so. I feel like if it were me, right? If I were the coaching staff in this situation, you say, yeah, Ponatoski's going to be really, really good in both sports, but I want somebody who might be a little bit safer, right? Because let's say Ponatoski, he comes in his freshman year, doesn't play a lick of football because Alabama's got Keelan Russell who's starting every play, and then he goes to the baseball diamond, lights it up. Alabama, makes a run in the SEC tournament, makes a run in the NCAA tournament, maybe even gets to Omaha, and then he's starting to get those looks from MLB scouts at that point. So he's played a year of college baseball, has not touched college football outside of practice. But at that point, again, the MLB may come calling and say, hey, you may want to give up on this football dream at this point.
But he still has to stay in college for 3 years if he starts. So no, what is it? If you go can they go after the first year?
I believe you have to be 21 to get to the MLB.
Right. And so they still have, I guess the question becomes this, and this is a sidebar before we get to John. Listen, which one is more likely to be an Alabama quarterback? Matt Ponatoski after playing baseball for a couple of years and being the backup at Alabama, or Jet Thamalia, who comes here, is he likely to not be here 2 years from now anyway? You see what I'm saying? So it's almost like that's why I was saying, is it more likely that him as a backup to Austin or Russell is more likely to be on Alabama's roster than a guy who's only playing football? This is why Courtney Morgan is getting paid money, because it is you think about a general manager in college football. Look at what they're having to manage here. The would you rather question, the only reason I bring it up, I hope that they all are here. But the reality of it is, this is a legit concern with Alabama football. So let's see what John has to say. John, you're in on the Empowerment Strategy Solutions Hotline. What's on your mind?
Yo, what's up, Martin? Man, the myth, the legend. So, always good to talk to you, my brother.
No doubt. Good to have you.
So, I think on the would you rather question.
Yeah.
So the would you rather, look, man, I coach high school sports, and I know the only thing you want more than one championship is another. So if you're talking to me like, if you're talking to me about a guaranteed champion, and you got to think about not only Ty and Keelan, which they are important players in our future, but what about the other guys working their tails off? You know what I'm saying? And they want and they deserve a championship too. So it's not necessarily about the two guys, although I know that's the would you rather question today. But for me, it's about those other guys working their tail off, sacrificing, buying into Kalen's system, doing all the things that, Shepard and Grubb and, Kane, all these coaches asked them to do. So for me personally, and with the way the transfer portal is, if you're talking guaranteed national championship this year, I mean, that for me, that's I don't say a no-brainer, but for me, that's definitely a championship. So
yeah, it's interesting to talk through that, because you're like, oh, man, you don't want to lose a guy who could potentially get you, a couple. But Alabama's history isn't that the big-time quarterback wins the national titles.
Great point. And it's so hard, man. You won a championship back in '92. It's hard.
Yeah.
I mean, it is not easy to go undefeated or to go with one or two losses, and now you got to go through the playoff system. Which, if you drop a game or two, you might be going on the road to some Big Ten environment where it's 10 degrees and snowing, and in January, for heaven's sakes. And I mean, it's hard, man. Like it's so hard. So
it's hard, and it's gonna. the 16-team playoff, it's going to get harder. It's just more people going to have an opportunity. Everybody's saying, well, man, they need to go to 16 teams because Alabama, would have got in. And that's true. You're going to have more teams with an opportunity to win, but the team who wins it is going to have a harder path. Because the reality of it is, they're going to have to win 3 to 4 games against top-notch opponents. You would assume are the top-notch opponents anyway.
Yeah, this is true. And hey, so I had a question for you. It's actually the reason I called.
Yes, sir.
So my question is kind of twofold. Number one, I'm always curious, what do these guys' schedule look like during the summer? Just say a daily schedule. I know some of these, but like, what does the daily schedule look like for them during the summer, and how does that compare to what your schedule was back whenever you were playing for Gene Stallings?
I don't fully know how their schedule is set up, but it's I say easier. They can take summer classes and never go to a classroom and be okay because of the online options and things like that. So they have to take classes if they're on campus, of course. They can go home and all that. But I know that they have different workout groups based on scheduling, and so they're able to get the workouts in. And then, of course, they have full-time cafeteria right next door. They have a nutrition bar. They have a smoothie bar. All that stuff right there with them. And where we, like for me, during the summer when I was here, John, I had to work. I went to work after I got through working out in class and all that to make us some extra money. I don't think they have to do that. So they probably go to their game room, which our game room was a room with a couple couches and no games. And they have a full facility. So I think that the guys, I think they spend a lot of time together, even though they're not in the dorm. They have a facility that's cool to hang out in compared to what we had. So they got a lot of options, but I think they have more flexibility than we did. And that's why I don't know how it's being handled with Coach DeBoer. I think that's why when Cochran left, Alabama lost a little bit because he was the guy, because the coaches couldn't have that interaction with the players at that time. And the strength and conditioning coach was the guy that kept them all together during the summer.
Exactly.
That's why I think Cochran got paid so much money. Not what he did necessarily in the weight room, but what he did during the summer. And if you go back, he left, Alabama's not been that same. But I think this team has figured that brotherhood and that connection out. So I would say it's a lot easier and a lot better. But they also have a lot more distractions than we did. You didn't have access to players unless you knew them directly, and now you can have access to them pretty much anytime you want.
Gotcha. Well, listen, man, you have a blessed day, Martin. I appreciate it, my friend. Have a good one now.
Appreciate that, John. So, all right, Wyatt, we're 2 for 2. Give me the national title. Are you surprised by that? If you have a different opinion, if you rather say, give me Russell for the next 4 years, that's what I should have thrown in there. Russell's going to stay for 4 years, but Russell will be back for 3. Would you rather have that natty in hand? And why? Is it the natty alone that makes Ty the right choice, or is there something else? We'll talk about it right here on the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier. We'll be back on the other side.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Happy hump day to you. And we're getting off to a nice and quiet start along those Tuscaloosa freeways, and side streets are also looking good. We're moving smooth on McFarland in both the east and westbound lanes from Lurleen Wallace all the way to 5th Street and even beyond that. That is traveling again, green for go. Looking good inside the construction zone, 2059 from 359 to Joe Malisham Parkway. You're A-OK. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now. Tammy Thomas.
Houston Hydrosteam. That's Houston Hydrosteam. Quality work you can stand on. Whether you're looking for carpet and upholstery cleaning, oriental rug cleaning, residential or commercial water damage, and a whole lot more, you need to call Houston Hydrosteam at 205-553-9460, 553-9460, or visit them online at HoustonHydrosteam.com. And once again, Houston Hydrosteam is quality work you can stand on.
There's the, yes, I'd like some popcorn, yes. There's the, yes, my team won, yes. And then there's the yes you never forget. When you open a tiny box that says Fincher and Osmond, it's only second in line behind I do, but it's a yes you'll feel down to your toes.
I'm Tom Osmond.
It's like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
Coming up on The Game with Ryan Fowler.
Hey, coming up on the Wednesday edition of The Game, starting at 2 p.m., we'll talk to Aaron Torres, Fox Sports national analyst. We'll also have a chance to visit with Josh from College Football Nerds right here on The Game with Ryan Fowler on Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
The longest running sports program in Tuscaloosa. The Game with Ryan Fowler. Weekdays from 2 to 6 p.m. on Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
The sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team. The Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
All right, welcome back into the Empowerment Strategy and Solutions Hotline. It's open. We can take your call. And hey, remember, Empowerment Strategy and Solutions, empowering better leaders, stronger teams, and championship cultures. We love the opportunity to work with you. And right now, we're offering a free pep talk, 45 to 60-minute lunch and learn complimentary. So if you're interested in the opportunity to win and host a complimentary pep talk at your location, all you need to do is send an email to martin@martinhouston.org. Right now, we're focusing on the 15 invaluable laws of growth, whether it's personal or as a team. Love to share with you, your team, and your organization on how to build better leaders, stronger teams, and a championship culture. All right. Why are you surprised by the responses? Because all you've been hearing is Keelan Russell. And now all of a sudden you throw out a title and it's like, give me the title. Give me the tie and the title. What are your thoughts on the would you rather question?
I do think the ultimate goal is a national championship, right? There's no other reason that, I mean, there's other reasons, but for the most part, you play football to try and win a title, right? Prove you're the best. And so if you're guaranteeing me a title, I think I would take that over the potential. Like, Keelan Russell's got all the potential in the world. You're not saying that he couldn't win a title. He still could.
Right.
But if you're guaranteeing me a national title, knowing how tough it is, knowing that you've now got to go through a 12-team playoff, and then next year it'll expand even more. So you're risking that even more with Keelan Russell. You're telling me I get a guaranteed natty right now? Yeah, I would take the guarantee. And as much as I love Keelan Russell, there's other quarterbacks out there. Maybe not as good, but there's other quarterbacks out there.
Yeah, and here's the other part that you throw into that mix. You would have a returning national championship starting quarterback.
Yeah, you would have a returning starter who won a natty the year before. It'd be like AJ McCarron coming back in 2012.
Right. Yeah, when was the last time we had a returning starter for a national title? AJ McCarron, right?
Yeah.
And
there was one point there where we were churning quarterbacks every single year.
Yeah, what would that lead to? Let's think about that. If he wins it this year and came back, because like I said, he could win a national title and not have an NFL type year, right? But still win a title. Then he comes back for another year, and you look at it and you're like, okay, Alabama in reality could be really good in 2026. You potentially lose 2 wide receivers, but the stud has to come back one more year, right? So you clearly have a wide receiver 1. You would have a QB1 that's won a national title. You would lose 2 running backs. So then you look at the offensive line. Ooh, that would be your question, I guess. Inside linebacker, but still, I'd take a national title with those losses with a quarterback coming back. Here's the other side. There is no guarantee that Russell is going to beat Austin Mack out.
That's fair. I think he will, but you're right. There's no guarantee that Keelan Russell would even end up being the starter.
That's right. The reality of it is Keelan Russell is legit, but he's also not getting he's not getting 1 reps. That's what I try to tell people. It's a difference going against the 1s and the 2s. And when you're an elite talent going against the 2s, you look like an elite talent. So it'll be.
But then you start throwing against Amani Jackson, Xavier Brown, and it's like, ooh, okay.
Listen, this is what I tell people. This is like why when I went to the NFL, it blows your mind. I mean, I like coming from high school to college was a big jump. I came from a 4A school, so it was a big jump to see the other talent, right? But there's guys who are like elite athletic, but the coaching is not the same, right? When I was coming out. So even though you had this elite guy, he didn't always perform elite. He was inconsistent because a lot of times that elite talent had done what at the high school level, Wyatt? He'd been kind of the just run around and play and dominate everybody. He would
out-athlete people.
Huh?
He would go out and out-athlete people.
Right. He had not been coached. So if you were a good athlete and well coached, you could defeat a really, really good athlete who wasn't very well coached. Well, by the time you get to the NFL, you now have taken away all of the questionable athletes. This is what I always get tickled when I hear people saying, man, that dude fell to the 3rd round. Dude, this guy is one of the top athletes in the world. I don't care if he was a free agent. He's still one of the top athletes in the world. And he's been well coached. So you get up there. And when I got to the NFL, and I can't tell you why the speed, like you'd be on the sideline, Wyatt, and what was open in college, you see a wide receiver make a break, and it's like he's open because the DB was trailing, and the wide receiver would make his cut, and the quarterback wouldn't throw it. And then the backup would come in, or the rookie would come in at quarterback, and you weren't in with that rep, so you're on the sideline at that rep as well. And it'd be the same route, the same look, and they would throw it, and that dude would pick it off and take it to the house. Because in college, it's a completion. I mean, in high school, it's a completion. In college, it's a breakup. In the pros, it's a pick six. That makes sense. That planting that hip, turning and coming forward is so much quicker, so much faster. I mean, you have offensive linemen that run the same speed as fullbacks, and they're pulling, and they bench 550 pounds and weigh 300 pounds and run a 4.8, 4.9 40. You can't come. So when you look at Keelan Russell, I try to tell people he's good, and he's going to be great. I think he's going to be elite, but I just think it's interesting. I think you do take the quarter. You take the national title. Why? Here's the other thing. How hard would it be if Ty Simpson wins the national title? DeBoer has reestablished Alabama. You think he's going to have an issue getting a quarterback to come?
Nope.
And there you go. That's why you take the title, as Pat put it, the bird in the hand is better than two in the bush. Hey, it's a wild card Wednesday. We didn't get to anything else today, so we'll just kick those topics on down the road. SEC players who did make the College Football Hall of Fame, names that you might be familiar with. Ryan Williams, hammer to a ant statement. We'll talk about that on tomorrow as well. Breakout players, sophomores, breakout units, breakout individual players. All of those conversations we'll just kick to tomorrow or down the road. We always welcome you in on the Martin Houston Show. We have to get to break here because on the other side we have Scotty Hollins, Executive Director, Blueprint Ministries.
Here's what's trending on the Tuscaloosa thread.
Good Wednesday morning. A scaled-down, 6-story Sports Illustrated resort near Rice Mine Road is moving towards final approval from the Tuscaloosa City Council. That comes after a Tuesday public hearing, though it may be weeks before a final vote. Concerns over the project's size, its exterior design, and the prospect of timeshare units for sale being included have prompted some opposition from nearby neighborhoods. Click TuscaloosaThread.com for more West Alabama news, sports, and weather. Don Hartley, Town Square Media, Tuscaloosa.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. We are purpose-driven right now as you move along those Tuscaloosa freeways and side streets. Looking at very minimal delays, even though we do have a fender bender on McFarland westbound near Joe Malisham. Now, this is right at Mid-Larry Road in Northport. And again, this is not causing a huge to-do, only a tap on the brakes as you pass by. Skyland Boulevard in both the east and westbound lanes at McFarland. You're also going to find that a little slow. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, Tammy Thomas.
This report is sponsored by Unbound.org.
The Venue, your new favorite Tuscaloosa hangout, food, music, and more. Come and taste what's new at The Venue, whether it's Liza's Sweet Shop, whether it's the all-day breakfast and burgers from Ramajama's, or the quality food that you can get at Finney's Pub. Great atmosphere, great time, great people, great environment. That's The Venue. You can find them online at thevenuetuscaloosa.com, located off of Watermelon Road, just past Sokol Park. That's The Venue, Tuscaloosa's new favorite hangout. Make it yours.
Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice: continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at Unbound.org.
When shopping for a new car, you have options. At Mercedes-Benz of Tuscaloosa, they treat their customers like friends and neighbors. Trust them to provide the best advice, pricing, and exceptional customer service. The Mercedes-Benz name is recognized for its quality. You will find an impressive selection of new Mercedes-Benz cars at their dealership. They have over 100 new models in stock, with more than 60 pre-owned vehicles available. Visit them at 3200 Skyland Boulevard East, Tuscaloosa. Tuscaloosa or check out their inventory online at mercedesoftuscaloosa.com.
Weather brought to you by Tidwell Chiropractic, the only third-generation chiropractor with over 27 years experience in Tuscaloosa. Call Tidwell Chiropractic at 752-7503.
Interact with the Martin Houston Show by calling us at 205-342-9904 or tuning into the Martin Houston Show on Facebook.
All right, welcome back into the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier. It's now time for our Harvest Church Christian Moment of the Week with Scotty Hollins, Executive Director of Blueprint Ministries. Good morning, Scotty. How you doing, sir?
Hey, Martin. I am doing well. How are you?
Doing well. Glad to have you back, man. I'll kick it to you.
Yes, sir.
Encourage us how we can incorporate our faith into the boardroom, the classroom, or our chosen field of place, sir.
Absolutely. So excited to be back. And we will continue with our series, wrapping it up, Martin. We're wrapping it up. That's what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
I think we're going to try to wrap it up soon. But it just, I think this thing keeps spawning a little bit. It just has been I've enjoyed this series. It's challenged me. Fundamentals that build a firm foundation and making sure that we are aware that it's just a few fundamentals that we need to be making sure that we have in our lives that will build the firm foundation that we need to live the life that God's called us to live. We talked about one of those fundamentals is spending time in God's Word and the importance of that. And and when I say fundamentals, I could almost say habits, like developing a few habits. These fundamentals become habits. That if we develop these habits will develop us. So spending time in God's Word is one of those fundamentals and habits. Spending time in prayer. Spending time in fellowship, including being mentored by someone, having somebody who's pouring into you, including having accountability, somebody that's more of a peer, more at your level, but that person holds you accountable as you're seeking to honor God. And also including eventually you pouring into someone else. And the eventually, of course, when you think about you pouring into someone else, that's not like a one-time thing. Once you get to a place where you're able to pass on the things that you've learned, that is the goal and the privilege for the rest of your life. You become an ambassador for Christ, and you get a chance to be his representative, and you get a chance to point people to Jesus. And when they come to know him, you get a chance to help them grow in their faith. So anyway, fundamentals to build a firm foundation: time in God's Word, time in prayer, fellowship, including those three specific areas. And then as we looked at that, we talked about that mentoring piece. It kind of took us in a different direction. And we looked at kind of the relationship that Paul had with Timothy, as Paul was Timothy's mentor. And we've looked at some passages in 2 Timothy, which is Paul's last letter to Timothy. And it's his message to his mentee saying, hey, man, finish strong. And so as we've kind of finished our series, it's really been focusing on how do you finish strong? How do you live a life that allows you to finish strong? And Paul focused on three things. And then I'll give a quick little message for today. He fought the good fight. This is 2 Timothy 4:7. He fought the good fight. He finished the race. He kept the faith. Fought the good fight. He lived his life for what mattered. He finished the race. He didn't quit. And he kept the faith. That's where we are right now. And so we looked at Hebrews as we talked about faith, because that's called the Hall of Faith. And we look at that chapter, Hebrews 11, I should say. The chapter is literally called the Hall of Faith, where it's talking about all the greats in the Bible and everything that they accomplished was by faith. And so today, I want to just give us a brief message on, remember, we're talking about Paul and him finishing strong and Paul keeping the faith. And so my question is, what was the object of his faith? One of the most popular verses, probably in the Bible, you see it on people's tape on Saturdays in the fall, Philippians 4:13, right? I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Just to give you a little quick message on that, Paul is saying, he leads into that saying, hey, he's had times where he basically didn't have what he needed. He didn't have enough. And he said he's had times when he had plenty, Martin. But then he says, but he's learned the secret of contentment whether he has more than he needs or not enough. And you know what his secret was? His secret was, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So what we do is, what he does is he gives us insight into his secret. How is he able to persevere? How is he able to take steps forward in the midst of all the adversity that he faced? And here's what he said. When he had plenty, he was content. Why? Because he could do all things through Christ who strengthened him. When he had not enough, he was content because he could do all things through Christ who strengthened him. Here's the grand finale. Here's what he was essentially telling us. He's saying, basically, life will give you a roller coaster of circumstances. Some are plenty, some when you don't have a whole lot. And he's saying his secret of continuing to move forward was the object of his faith. And it's where he got his strength from. And he says the average person, essentially, what he's implying is the average person gets their strength from their circumstances. Martin, I can be average. I can get my strength from my circumstances as well. But then hopefully God reminds me, and he does, when I find myself getting my strength from my circumstances. No. You're focusing on the wrong thing. Paul says the average person gets their strength from their circumstances. He chose to get his strength from his Savior, right? And so I want to encourage you today, the object of your faith, the object of Paul's faith was to get his strength from his Savior. And that's why he said he could do things through Christ who strengthened him. And that was a secret to him finishing strong.
Absolutely. And the key, I'd add one more step to finishing strong, is finishing today. A lot of times, not only we lose that strength because we look at the race that's laid out before us, but we only have to run today. That's it. And so when you look to Christ, if you believe he's the strength, object of your strength, then it's a lot easier to believe that he can strengthen you for today. And then when you get up tomorrow, it's the same thing. He can strengthen you for today. I did a teaching on consistency over intensity. That we sometimes fall into that category. We're gonna go hard, but we don't go consistent.
I love that, Martin. That will preach.
Yep. So anyway, man, tell them where they can find you.
Absolutely. Go to www.blueprinttuscaloosa.com. Send me a message there. It comes straight to my email.
All right. Hey, remember this: trust in the Lord always, lean not your own understanding, in all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. That's Scotty Hollins. I'm Martin Houston. That's goodness gracious, I just drew a blank on. That's Wyatt Fulton, my producer for today. We'll be back tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel. Roll Tide, everybody.
Thank you for listening to the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Childhood cancer is devastating.